What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Father Son Fantasy Football Podcast. My name is
My
Paul.
name is Justin, and if you guys are new, we are, like we said, the Father Son Fantasy Football Podcast, and we have content coming to you every single week, 3 times a week. We do waivers, we do a recap and trade targets, and then we go to starts and sits. Today's the start and sits episode. And Dad, I just want to say, wow, about last night's game. We're recording this on a Friday, so last night's Thursday night football game was the Vikings at Rams. I lost a bet. I bet that last episode that the Vikings would win, but holy crap!
Yes, you did. Who won the bet?
My dad's won the last. No, I won that Deshaun Jackson bet, but like my dad's won
three out of the last four.
Oh,
I won 3 out of the last 4.
All right. Well, this week
you're on a losing
this week we're gonna make
now.
At least 4 bets, and I'm gonna win all 4.
Man right
okay?
now.
It's okay. I'm all for one right now.
The Rams look so. Listen, you bet me against the Rams. Why would you bet against the Rams offense? Jared Goff looked so good last night. His passes were precise. He did not make any mistakes. He passed for a career high 465 yards. He was 26 of 33, I do believe, and 5 touchdowns. He threw some incredible passes to the receivers. First one to Gurley, then to Cooks. Cooper Kupp caught one with 2 guys on him. I mean, them throws were unbelievable.
I was shocked.
Cousins had a great game, too. It was a shootout. Cousins played great, too, but LA's offense is, oh my gosh, dude. They're just scoring mega points every game.
That defense, even without Talib, Peters played, but that defensive line, I mean, granted, Minnesota's offensive line isn't great, but Aaron Donald, he may be the best player in the NFL. It's possible. Him and Khalil Mack are both insane.
Oh, yeah.
And J.J. Watt, don't forget about him, but that team is dominant, and Sean McVay's a genius. Cooper Kupp, wow. Career game.
If you like passing, last night's game was fantastic.
And then you got Pete Carroll still trying to run the ball all the time. I don't know. It's a passing league. It is a passing league now, and so if you're
Goff looked so good last night.
Goff looked good. Kirk Cousins didn't even look that bad. Diggs went off. Anyone you started minus Dalvin Cook in that game did well. Robert Woods went off. Right. Brandon Cooks went off. Cooper Kupp went off. Diggs went off. Thielen.
Which I did in a subscriber league. We'll talk about that at the end. Who I got. And that last night I made mega points again.
Thielen went off, Kirk went off, Goff went off, and then Gurley went off. That's 8 players that went off. So if you woke up this morning and you saw their box scored in the game and you had any of those people in your lineup, you're like, okay, I'm sitting pretty. Because we're not going to see a game like that probably again this season. That was a shootout from 2 top 5 defenses. I was shocked to see a shootout. I didn't expect that, but it was a fun game to watch for sure.
It was. It was. Sure
targets
was.
everywhere. And I saw a debate on Twitter. We're going to do this between me and you right now. That who is the better player? Is it Adam Thielen or is it Stephon Diggs? My answer, I said to this, was for fantasy purposes, it is Adam Thielen because he gets more.
We both said Diggs in the beginning of the year, but Thielen's definitely getting more targets, and he looks
Thielen is
good.
the guy you want to own in fantasy, but real life perspective, talent wise, I think it's Diggs. Just because they're both good players.
But right now, Thielen has the
for
upper
fantasy.
hand.
Real life, I think Diggs is more talented. I think.
Purposes. Yes.
And then, so I was wrong. We should have. I mean.
What did Kupp have? 175 yards, 2 touchdowns, something like that? He was unbelievable. That catch he made in the end zone, Golf put it right on the money with 2 guys on
even Kirk Cousins was dropping sometimes to Aldrick Robinson.
Yes, he was. Yes,
I was like, wow, I didn't even know he was on that team until that day. This would have been Diggs' touchdown, so I was mad Diggs didn't have a touchdown. I now have Diggs in even more leagues now. We're not going to talk about
that. Cousins struggled last week. This week he rebounded very well.
Yes.
Unfortunately, they got another loss, but he did look good again last night.
I would not expect them to go on a losing streak of 2. And you can find me on Twitter at JustinFSFF. And then the podcast Twitter is at FatherSonFF. Follow you back on there. Interact with us and ask us any start-sit questions. I'll ask my dad them too so we get both of our feedback. I'll get my dad on Twitter soon. People have been asking that actually. When's the dad going to be on Twitter? I told him he's got to learn how to use Google first. But no, we'll get you on there.
I'll let you handle Twitter for right now.
Maybe next season I'm gonna try to get you a Twitter, and we'll try to get you to use it.
If they want to tweet out with me, they can go through you.
Yeah, but they want to talk. They just want you to have.
I'll get on there.
We'll get them on there eventually. So
all right, I'll get one on there.
I'll be in there eventually. So I say
we're growing as a podcast, so eventually I'll be on there.
Sounds good. I mean, I want to see you on there. I can start talking crap to the public, and they can see it even there. And then we have a lot of scenarios here this coming week 4 that we haven't seen in a while. As you can see, the Browns go back-to-back wins. We can see the Patriots go back-to-back losses. And, I mean, that's crazy. So, without further ado, I say we get into this week 4 starts sits. I'm ready to, and we're going to make some bets today, Dad. Feeling it.
All right.
Let's get it. right, Dad. So quarterbacks. I'm gonna have you start it out. I want to hear who your quarterback start of this week is.
This guy I loved ever since preseason, and I'm going to stick with him because he's hot and he's going up against the 49ers defense. Phillip Rivers is a must start this week.
Yeah, I think. Yeah. Well, why is this?
I mean, I expect a dominant performance from him. San Fran is without Richard Sherman. Again, he's hurt. I'm not really sure what's wrong with him. I think his calf. But even if he played, I don't think it's going to matter. The 49ers have been torched all season by Kirk Cousins, Matthew Stafford, and Mahomes torched them. Uh, think against that defense, they got almost 1,000 yards already between them, 3 passing, 8 touchdowns, and no interceptions. But Rivers comes into this game averaging 27 points a game, and I don't see that stopping.
Yeah, he's multiple touchdowns per game, only 1 interception on the year, and I think that the 49ers only allowed the 18th most fantasy points to quarterbacks. So this is a place where I think Rivers is just going to go off, and he's definitely a high-end quarterback one. Do you have a deeper quarterback options for, say, someone can maybe find on a waiver wire that they could start? Like any
Eli Manning. Eli Manning by far.
There it is. Eli Manning. It's a great start.
Eli Manning. If you're looking for a deep one to start, I mean, I think Drew Brees is going to torch him, and I think Eli's going to have to play catch up. So I think Eli's going to have another.
That's a good answer right there. All right, my start of the week.
Played very well last week. I look for him to do it again this week.
Shot.
It might be in a losing effort, but I think he's going to have to throw the ball to succeed. And if you're looking for in a deeper league who to start, Eli Manning would be a good option.
Yeah, there it is. I agree with both your starts this week. My start.
Wow, that's odd.
Is going to be Conor McGregor. I think Ryan Fitzpatrick's a great start this week. People are saying, Winston's back, but it looks like Fitzpatrick's getting the start this week. I think Winston's probably going to start after the bye week, which they have next week. So week 6, look for Winston to come back in and start. But Fitzpatrick against Chicago, he's at Chicago, and I just like the matchup he has. I think he's going to keep riding a hot streak. He's had 400 yards in every single game so far. And like I said, there's no official decision about who's going to start, but I mean, 12 touchdowns. This guy, he's the number 1 scorer in all of fantasy. He has the weapons to do it. And yes, it is a Bears defense, but I'm okay with it. I'm not nervous about the Khalil Mack and the intimidation factor of that defense because it is a good defense. But I'm rolling with it. I don't even care. I think that he's time to just keep riding with him when he's hot. He's hot. I'm not going to worry about a small little defense. So I'm okay with it.
Yep. Okay, so am I.
All right, who's your sit, Dad?
This is a tough one for me. There's a couple guys that I'd like to sit, but I'm going to go with Derek Carr.
Yeah, this is a
unless you have him in a 2 quarterback league because he has yet to score. I think 20 points, maybe even it might even be lower than that fantasy points in a game. The Broncos and the Dolphins and the Browns defense has played well, so I expect him to struggle again this week. Cleveland has held those quarterbacks who I just mentioned.
Not even well. They're the best defense against the pass right now against fantasy quarterbacks. Wow. They had the lowest points per game allowed to quarterback, and this is the Browns. So I agree with you, Dad.
Wow, you agree again.
Yeah, and Oakland has a low 23.75 implied team total for week 3, so you can't start them with any confidence in 1 quarterback leagues, like you said, and 2 quarterback leagues, you don't really have an option probably. So you're starting him there.
So the Rams, the Broncos, and the Dolphins. So those quarterbacks. Cleveland has held them all to less than 250 yards passing. So I don't see Carr. Carr's not as good as those 3 quarterbacks, so I see Carr struggling again this week.
Yeah.
Until he shows me where he can score over 20 points a week, you're going to sit him.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you 100% right there. So my sit. This is a guy who I even said to pick up this week. I think it's Blake Bortles. I'm a little shocked to say it, but it looks like Fournette's playing, which was up in the air. He's questionable still, but he has been practicing this week day to day. And they run the ball when Fournette plays, they run the ball 52% of the time compared to just 37 without. That makes that Bortles' volume go down, and I don't think there's enough volume or even offensive firepower for Bortles to do well here. So I think that I'm just gonna rather play a guy like Ryan Fitzpatrick or one of my favorite Eli Manning could be available. Andy Dalton's a great play this week. So I'm just going to sit there, and he could have a good week, but I think there's better options out there. I'd rather start.
Is Fournette playing this week?
Looks like he is playing. That's why I'm saying sit him because the volume.
So they'll probably go back to a game managing situation. And Bortles was a big letdown last week, so I like your sit
he's
there
not a bad
also.
QB2. I think he's in top 18 this week. I'm just rather playing guys like Andy Dalton and Fitzpatrick over him. So, Dad, your quarterback start of the week, Philip Rivers. I like him, but there's guys I like more. I'm going to ride.
All right, let me have him.
It's bold. I don't know if you're going to take it. It's probably more bold on your part if you do take it, but the GOAT right now, Mahomes at Denver.
You know,
we had the bet. We had the bet on the
take that.
season, so I mean, I'll put it on week 4.
Yep. Okay, I'm going to take that bet because Mahomes is going to come down.
I don't think he's going to come out this week.
I expect Rivers to have a great week, so put it on the table. I'm taking Rivers over Mahomes.
Let's go.
I think Mahomes is having a great year so far. You cannot deny that.
The matchup is in favor of Rivers.
Eventually, he's going to come down to earth, and Rivers is going to light him up.
Rivers is home, too.
So that bet is on the table.
I'm okay with that. I like that. There we go. So let's go on to running back stat. I'll go first this time.
Go ahead.
I wasn't sure about my running back start of the week when I was looking at them all. I like Matt Breida a lot this week. Hopefully he's not your start of the week. I like Giovanni Bernard a lot this week. I hope I didn't take your guy right there.
With Mixon.
I'm having Bernard in every single one of my lineups this week in DraftKings, and I think that's more of a too obvious start because a lot of people in the industry are on Bernard this week, but that is my guy to start. But my start of the week is coming from a nice little place called Detroit. Not only... we can double down on it. I'm okay with that. Not only, I'll use another one, but we'll both tag team this one, and I'll do another one after this, okay? So, not only was he the first 100-plus yard rusher since 2013, but he's going to be the first back-to-back rusher in a while for the Lions. I don't know if it's ever happened before. Kerryon Johnson, the drought's over.
I love him.
I love him this week. I wasn't even loving him this week until I found out that someone named Sean Lee is not playing. And thanks to our sponsor at the Quant Edge, which I'll read about in a second, the splits with and without Sean Lee in the game is insane. The run defense becomes good to awful, and they ranked in the 60th percentile or better, allowing only 75.3 rushing yards per game. But he's shelved with a hamstring injury, so whenever he missed time in the last 2 seasons, the run defense has taken a massive hit. There's a greater success, and I'm wheels up right here for Kerryon Johnson just because Sean Lee's not in there, and that makes a huge difference. The success rate goes from, you want to hear this? The success rate in 2018 with and without Sean Lee, there's a 41% run success rate when he's in the lineup to an 83.4 without. That's more than double. Kerryon Johnson's going to eat this week. What do you got to say about Kerryon Johnson? I agree with you. I'll do another start of the week real quick. I'll look for one.
You know, look like Dallas's defense struggles against the run, especially with Sean Lee out. Yeah. Look what Carson grinded his way to 124 total yards and a touchdown with Lee was out. So I'm trusting Johnson to have a big game this week against Detroit on the road.
Yeah.
So I'm with you. 2 weeks in a row, he's going to have over 100 yards rushing.
All right. So my start. That was my start of the week, but that's also yours. I'll give the viewers and the listeners another one. Kenyon Drake, start of the week. He's been doing awful this year. I think you know that because you have him on your team. I don't have him in many leagues, but the Patriots rank 30th to average fantasy points allowed the running back. They allowed the first 100 rusher for Detroit since 2013 last week, and I believe that he put up 193 total yards the last time he faced New England. He may have only had 7 touches last week, but that was because of the game script, and he still had a high snap count. There's less concern. I'm not worried about it. Drake is going to be a running back 2 with running back 1 upside this week. Plug him in your lineup. Don't be scared. And I was trying to trade for him this week and then sell him after this week. But he's definitely going to be a good week 4 option, and it's a week-to-week game, so I'm choosing Kenyon Drake to start this week.
Okay.
It's not bad.
I like that.
It's not bad. I mean, I think he's going to do well. So let's go to sit stat. I was looking through. I really wasn't sure about who to choose for a sit. Dalvin Cook was going to be mine, but it was a Thursday night game, and I had to start him in one of my leagues. But my sit is going to come from the Cleveland game, and that's going to be Carlos Hyde. I like Carlos Hyde. Congratulations to him for having a kid and having that 2 touchdown game last week against the Jets. But this is Oakland, and you're at Oakland, and that crowd, it may be a factor. They're talking about getting Duke Johnson more involved, and so he scored in every single game so far with the Browns. But this time he gets the Raiders, who have allowed the 8th fewest fantasy points to running backs and only allowed over 100 yards to position. They've allowed it in the first 2 games. So, I mean, he's going to have to get over 100 yards. But I wouldn't start him with the running back 1 confidence. I think he's going to be a top 24 running back, possibly. But I'd rather start Kerryon Johnson over him. I'd rather start Kenyon Drake over him. And, surprise, I'd rather start Sony Michel over him. So, who's your sit?
Wow. I actually got, I'll give you 2 sits. One of them is pretty obvious, Peyton Barber.
Oh, he hasn't done crap
Look,
this year. Go, keep go. Let's hear why.
people are waiting. Can we see Ronald Jones already, please? It's not all his fault because the Buccaneers' passing game has been explosive. They've kind of abandoned the run game, and Barber isn't giving them enough reason to get more work. So this week they're facing the Bears. It's not a good matchup. Chicago hasn't allowed a running back to gain more than 47 rushing yards with no rushing touchdowns allowed. So you're sitting Barber this week, especially since they seem to abandon the run game.
Fair enough.
Another guy who you're going to sit is Isaiah Crowell.
Oh.
He's going up against the Jaguars.
Yeah.
The Jaguars defense is unbelievable. If there's anybody you want to start there, it's got to be Bilal Powell as a safer running back for the Jets, given his role in the passing game. The Jaguars, I don't think have allowed any rushing touchdowns yet this year. So if you got Corral on your team, you're not starting them. You're going to start Bilal Powell instead of him.
Yeah, and
so there's two sits that I.
Yeah, a little bonus one right there. Damn. All right, so running backs, we're making a bet right here. I love Matt Breida this week. Who do you like that you would possibly play over Matt Breida this week in a PPR league? Because I think that's what we usually do for our listeners who are new. We do PPR league standard. And while my dad looks for a running back to pick, I'm gonna tell you guys about our sponsor, how I found out about the split with this whole new Sean Lee missing the game and all that. That was used with the injury tool. So if you're tired of getting crushed by the pros, the best players and sports bettors, so listen up right here. The quantedge.com has the tools you need to play like a pro. Lineup optimizer, the injury tool, which I used with the Sean Lee thing, wide receiver, cornerback matchups, head-to-head tool. You're gonna be armed with everything you need to win. Before this tool, I even looked in it. I was not going to start Kerryon Johnson this week, but after looking into it, I think Kerryon Johnson's going to do great. And also, you can make up to 150 lineups in seconds. You can see matchups to exploit, compare players to help you make the right decision you're on the fence about at thequantedge.com. You also get exclusive access to industry experts, articles, podcast, and the TQE community by participating in the premium membership chat. So we here at Father Son Fantasy Football have a special deal for our loyal listeners. You can use promo code FSFF. That's it, 4 letters right there. It's FSFF. And you get $10 off your first month. So go to thequantedge.com to sign up today. And let me tell you, it helps me out. I won money last week. I got 6th place out of 1,800. I'm going to hope to do that again. Probably not, but I'm going to use their tools and their articles they have, which I find very helpful, and use their lineup optimizer to get some lineups in for DraftKings this week and win some money, Dad, right?
Listen, money in your pocket means the less money I got to give you. So I'm all for it.
That is true.
So you keep winning that. You keep winning that money.
I'll do my best. Give my dad some lineups in there too. That he does the tools and stuff. So while I was reading that off, I'll have it in the description below. If you guys want to go click on the link, it's going to be in the description below. And you're running back, so I'll go over Matt Breida this week, Dad, to start.
Kerryon Johnson, like I already said. I think.
Ooh, I love Kerryon Johnson. I'll do it. I'm okay with that.
We're gonna go. We're
gonna
put that on the table.
I'm gonna say Matt Breida has more fancy points
Whoa.
than Kerryon Johnson this week. It is bold. I like both. I have them back to back.
Put that on
the table.
Another guy I like this week that I'm not going to make a bet on, I think, is Aaron Jones. I think they worked him into the offense slowly last week. I look for more production this week at home. I look for him to have a better week than he had.
And not only that, if you're listening right now, go try to trade for Aaron Jones right now. Rodgers, that's the biggest thing. He talks about loving having him on the field. It's a difference maker. He's definitely Aaron Rodgers' favorite running back, and I think that means something. Even though Mike McCarthy may not like him, I think that means something. And I'm on wheels up for it. Another guy I like to play in cheap in DraftKings this week is Chris Carson. He's going against the Cardinals, who have the worst defense against the run, and he's pretty cheap this week, so that's a guy I like to put in there. So wide receivers, Dad, my favorite position. I like watching, and I already told people before, start Diggs. He did well. I'm gonna say Will Fuller, back-to-back weeks. He's pushing his streak. He's pushing his streak of 100 yards and a touchdown. And the 3 games after this week against the Colts are very vulnerable, and his splits with Deshaun Watson are insane. He's going against Nate Hairston, who lines up on the left 98% of the time, which is where Fuller plays 30% of the time, and he plays on the right 62% of the time, which means he's not going to have him, and that's a good sign. A left receiver would line up against a right cornerback, so we're fine.
Them two have a great chemistry together, and who would have thought Will Fuller would out-target?
Yeah, I actually read it wrong. He's going to be going up against Nate Hairston because the left cornerback lines up against the right side, so that's what it is. So he's going to be lining up against Will Fuller, and he's very vulnerable this year. He's, I don't know, Fuller gets targets, like you just said, more than Hopkins.
Oh, he's had 9 touchdowns in the 6 games that he's played with
It's
Deshaun
insane.
Watson.
Yeah.
That's
He's gonna
unbelievable.
he's gonna be in my
Like I
DraftKings
said,
lineups.
who thought he would out target Hopkins? I would have never thought that.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna be definitely playing him in DraftKings. I'm gonna do the Deshaun Watson, Hopkins, and Fuller stack this week. I'm gonna have all three of
Well, I'm
those.
going to give you a guy. I'm going to give you a guy that you better start in DraftKings.
Oh, here's a guy. Well, let's hear it. Who's it? Who is it?
There's a lot to like this week about Sterling Shepard.
Yes.
Evan Ingram is out for the Giants, which should open up more targets for Shepard. The Saints are down quarterback. I think Patrick Robinson's going to be out, which makes an already suspect secondary even worse.
Yeah, I mean,
So
who? The key.
when Ingram played,
The
go ahead,
key
what?
here is you see the number 2 wide receiver against the Saints. You saw Deshaun Jackson week 1 tear him up. You saw Antonio Callaway have a
Yep.
good game week 2.
Yes.
Last week you saw Calvin Ridley torch him, 3 touchdowns, 100 and something yards.
Well, the Saints have already allowed 7 receivers to either score or gain at least 90 receiving yards through the first 3 games. And Shepard last week had 6 catches for 80 yards and a touchdown on 7 targets when Ingram was injured. So I look for him to have a big week this
Opposite
week.
Marshawn
Because
Lattimore.
the Giants are going to have to throw. The Giants are going to have to throw to have a chance against the Saints.
I agree.
So Odell's going to get his shares, and Shepard steps up with Ingram out. I love Sterling Shepard this week. Put him in all lineups.
All lineups. Yeah, I agree. I think he's going to be a great flex play with upside. Definitely DraftKings play. He's very cheap, and he's going to have a good week. Who's your sit, Dad? I want to hear who your sit is so I don't take it.
You know, there's a couple guys.
Don't say it.
Because they haven't proven yet. Larry Fitzgerald is a sit for me because he
I
hasn't
don't think it's
proven
his fault.
nothing. Well, it's
Rosen's
not.
in now could be different, but the coaching scheme there is awful. So that's why.
And another guy that I have him on 2 of my teams, and I can't believe I'm going to say this, but without Jimmy Garoppolo there, I think Marquise Goodwin you have to sit. I have no interest in starting him on the road especially at the Chargers this week until he gets a rapport with CJ. I think you got to sit him this week.
I like that. I'm a big proponent of that too, and he had more of a chemistry with Garcon, but I'm not.
I hope for better production from Goodwin, but we'll have to see what he does. It definitely hurts him with Jimmy G out. Same thing with Larry Fitzgerald. He was my other sitter of the week. I mean, I love that they went to Rosen. That should only help his value, but so far this year he's been Mr. Consistency. He has not been the first 3 weeks.
Yeah, I hear you. So my set.
And I have both of them guys on my teams, and they're killing me. They're both killing me. Come on, guys, wake up. Help Paulie out. Paulie needs some points. I'm 1-2 in all leagues. Come on.
But it's a little weird
killing
though, because in one of the leagues, I'm almost certain, like 100% sure, you're going 1-3. I don't know why.
Yeah, no, because I play you in the 1 league, and you're going to get crushed
how?
this week. We're gonna put that on the table.
We're putting
that
that. All
on
right.
the
So I
table.
play my dad in our biggest home league. It's a super flex league. I am 3-0 in first place. My dad is 1-2, which is normal to pack in this league. He's in 6th place. Easy win on my part. I'm not even nervous about it at all.
You're going down.
It's actually fun. We also
down.
have the Mahomes Rivers matchup in that game too, so that'd be fun to see.
Do.
And my sit of the week is gonna be a guy you love. That you love this guy, Dad. This is a guy you love.
Who is
Why don't
it?
you guess? Guess real quick. Guess who this guy is. You love this guy. You hyped him all off season. You think he's the number 1 there. Well, you thought he was the number 1 there.
Oh yeah, you're gonna sit my man Marvin
That's
Jones.
the guy. Wow, my dad knows it. They're going against the league's number 4 pass defense in the Cowboys.
Yeah,
He had 6 receptions for 69 yards and his second touchdown of the year. Galladay, I still wouldn't mind starting him in your flex spot, but I think there's better options to be had. I'd rather start Sterling Shepard over him this week. I like Tyler Boyd over him this week, and I like Lockett over him this week. It says that Doug Baldwin's going to play, but I still rather go Lockett. And I rather think there's better options available than Marvin Jones this week.
The Dallas's defense
Surprisingly
has been good. And Jones hasn't got more than 4 catches a game, even though he's produced in the fantasy world. But he hasn't had more than 4 catches in either game. So
yeah, another thing in that game is
I got no problem with that sitter of the week.
I'll do a simple another bet with you with this game, the Lions and Cowboys, that I think you'd probably take. It's going to be, I want to put it on the table that Ezekiel Elliott is going to be the number 1 running back this week in fantasy. You could take the field saying anyone would be better than him this week. I think Ezekiel Elliott will be the number 1.
Why would you make that bet, and why wouldn't
because
I take
I
that
don't
bet?
lose.
If I got the field, If I got the
I
you
don't
lost. You lost three of
lose.
the last four. Three of the last four bets you have
I don't
lost.
lose.
So we're gonna put that on the table. I'm taking the field over Ezekiel Elliott.
Yeah, I mean, hey, there it is, put on a table, and
That's four bets
as Bart
already.
said,
That's four.
Don't drink the
and I think I'm gonna
Kool-Aid.
be drinking the Kool-Aid, so it's okay though.
Well, I
I
think you're
think, I
drinking
think,
the
I
Kool-Aid
think I
right
am,
now.
but
You're
I'll
gonna
take
give me
it.
the field over
Yes.
Elliott.
Boom.
I would take the
Bold,
field.
baby. I like it. We like bold predictions here.
All right. You're gonna lose all four bets
Now,
this week. You're on a losing streak, kid.
now
you are.
the worst position in fantasy football is tight ends, and I hope you didn't say Kels or Ertz as the start of the week because obviously you're starting those guys. So I mean, who is your start this week? I'll do mine first, and that's gonna be
Go ahead.
Tyler Eifert.
Who's it?
Tyler Eifert is my
Tyler
start of the week. This guy, as Derek was saying, he's getting more snaps each and every week, and I think this is the week that you see Tyler Eifert just have not maybe a touchdown. I think it's gonna be the second highest scoring game this week behind the Giants and Saints. So I'm wheels up for Tyler Eifert. You saw him play, I think it was 70% of the snaps last week, and I do like him. I'm not worried about it. I mean, yes, you had that whole thing about it being Eifert and him being but he played a season high snap percentage of 71%. It's from D-Bro, our boy Derek Brown at @Dbro_FFB, and he had 8 targets, ran 31 routes, and Atlanta have been decent against tight end, allowing the 7th least points. But I think with AJ Green says he's healthy off the injury report, but he's still probably a little sore from that groin injury. So more targets to Boyd, more targets to Eifert. So who is your start, Dad? I don't know if you agree. You agree with that? Or are you saying, yeah, sure?
No, Eifert would be all right.
Yeah, this position is really bad. I'm not expecting a big week. I'm expecting a decent week. Hopefully, to keep you afloat. This is not like a week-winning matchup guy, but this is a guy who hopefully keep your roster from not tanking.
So for tight ends, if you got Jimmy Graham, start him this week. He's gonna break out this week, but he's not my start of the week. But if you got Jimmy Graham, start him.
Yeah, start Jimmy Graham. I agree with start, but after you tell me who your start is, we're making a bet about Jimmy Graham this week because I want to win this one again.
My start of the week is O.J. Howard at Chicago.
O.J. Howard.
He's played great the past 2 games. He's had 9 catches for 168 yards and a touchdown. That was against Philly and Pittsburgh. Okay? Yes, they're playing the Bears this week, but hopefully his streak continues. I like him to be a top 10 this week against the Bears, who have allowed a tight end to score in consecutive games.
Wow. Top 10.
O.J. Howard, start him this week.
Top 10 from my dad. You heard that. O.J. Howard, top 10.
Top 10 this week.
Wow. My dad is bringing the bold statements over here.
Against the Bears defense.
Yeah. I'm okay with it. I like it. I like O.J. Howard. And then I'm going to tell you my sit.
Yeah, I think he had a career high last week with 8 targets, I do believe. But he's played well the last 2 games. I look for that to continue against the Bears defense, even though the Bears have one of the best defenses in the league right now, but the tight ends, they haven't been. So I look for him to continue and have another big game.
I can definitely see it.
So him and Jimmy Graham.
All right.
Start Jimmy, baby. Come on, guys. He's got to get a touch. He's been denied a touchdown the last 2 weeks, which he should have had a touchdown in both games. Last week, it took 3 guys to take him down at the 2-yard line. He should have been
last 2 weeks. Last 3 weeks. Yes, he hasn't had one touchdown all year.
But last weekend he should have had one. And the week before he got one called back because of offensive holding.
That's the reason why I got the touchdown. All right, my sit, Dad, is a guy I like to watch. You saw him say, "Get off me" last week, and that's Vance McDonald. This dude had 4 catches for 112 yards and a 75-yard touchdown last week. He's now had at least 4 receptions and 50 yards in 4 to 5 pass games with Big Ben, which makes him a decent start. But the Ravens have been pretty good against the tight end this week, and I think that Donald's more of a low-end tight end one option. And I think if you say you were an owner who had Cook or Burton or even O.J. Howard, and you picked up Vance McDonald on the waiver wire, I'd still play those guys over him. I think he's a good start if you had guys on bye week, such as Ian Thomas on a bye week and Jordan Reed. I think go ahead, put Vance McDonald in your lineup this week. But if you had a guy like that's better this week, like even Jimmy Graham, I put over Vance McDonald, I would not play Vance McDonald this week. So he's not really a sit, but he's one of those guys where don't overthink it and just play the better guy.
Right. Okay, I'll go
Who
with
is
that.
your sit of the week? Well, it's not sit of the week. Just sit for a tight end that you could see people probably playing that they
Well,
shouldn't be.
love George Kittle, but you're sitting him this week
I
again against the Chargers defense
Yes, defense.
with CJ at quarterback. Like Jimmy G hurts this guy too being injured. So when he's played 5 games together with CJ, and he's only had 11 catches for 103 yards and no
Yeah,
touchdowns.
I think what happens here. Yeah,
So
we just heard
they're playing against the Chargers defense. The Chargers have allowed just 9 catches for 87 yards to opposing tight
season.
ends.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, they've been stingy.
Yes,
They're
for
the
this
best
season.
defense against tight end right
Yes.
now. So yeah,
Yes.
that's crazy.
Including Kels in week 1. Kels only had 1 catch for 6 yards on 6 targets against the Chargers defense. So with Jimmy G sitting or out for the rest of the year, you're sitting George Kittle.
Yeah, I think
everybody's love for these 2 guys. You got to sit. You got to sit him and see what CJ
I think
does.
Kittle's not going to be bad. I think what's going to happen is you're going to see him get more targets but less touchdowns. I'm not starting him this week for sure because that Chargers defense against tight end, like you said, really, really good.
Right.
Best against the tight end this season so far. But I think long term, I think Breida and Kittle are the benefits of this offense with Berthed at the helm, and I think Garcon.
I think Breida's going to be
good. He's going to have, like you saw Hyde
good.
Go from 3 targets a game to 8.5 when Berthed was in the game. So you're going to see the same thing with Breida, who was one of I think he was like the second or worst in catch rate last year. This year he's improved it to 77%. Wheels up for Breida in this offense. So tight ends, Jimmy Graham, you said start him. I'm going to do the same bet last week. Eric Ebron, Jack Doyle out. I'm saying Eric Ebron has more points than Jimmy Graham this week.
Eric Ebron has more points
Jimmy
than
Graham. I'll take it again. Last week they both did.
This is going to be our 5th bet because we are going to put that on a table. I'm taking Jimmy Graham all day long. Eventually, he's going to get in the end zone. This is the week he's getting in the end zone. I'm telling you right now.
No touchdowns in a year. No, he'll get his. It could be this week. I think you could see him have like one of those 2-catch games in the touchdown. And hoping that Ebron, who was the most targeted guy by Andrew Luck, because you saw Andrew Luck not be able to throw the ball down the field. Ebron had 11 targets, didn't turn in anything. But I think this means Doyle. Try a trade for Doyle right now. When he comes back, he's going to be a guy to own. Ebron didn't really make much of the targets last week, but he's going to do it this week and outperform.
Breida right now is a game-time decision. He might not even play this
Breida's going to play.
I'm just saying, he's a game-time decision.
Make sure you guys monitor that. You saw Doyle already ruled out and Mixon already ruled out. So don't worry about those guys. And that's going to do it for our start sets this week. Make sure you guys go check out thequantedge.com. It's in the description below. Use promo code FSF.
All right, well, let's talk a little bit about the subscriber league.
I won last week.
I lost.
Yeah, just like you're going to lose this week. All right. I'm just kidding. You're off to a really good start. You had Kirk, right?
So I played, last week I played the Fantasy Joker. I believe that's John.
Yeah.
Right? He beat me because Buffalo crushed Minnesota. That's the only reason why he beat me, because I had Kirk Cousins and Diggs, who did not have a good start at all. So he won 132 to 107. So good for you, John. You're 2-1. I went to 1-2. So if we go back to the league, there's still 2 teams that are 3-0. Dr. Watson and Mr. Hyde is 3-0.
My favorite team.
And hit them with the hiya.
Hey, Phillip, still going.
And Phillips.
Number 1 pick right there.
Phillip is 3-0.
Good for him.
So
there you go. I'm 2-1. Who's in third?
You're at 2-1. At 2-1 is lights, camera, action.
Who has the most points in the league?
Doesn't matter. You're 2-1.
I have the most points in the league by a lot, over 30. Well, 24 if you were being.
Jabroni Peppers is 2-1. Tyler Flynn is 2-1.
Hey.
Snipe City's 2-1.
Sean.
The Fantasy Joker's 2-1.
Fantasy Joker right there, and then lots of 1-2s and 3 0-3s.
There's 3-0-3. El Camino.
Bryce is 0-3.
Sunny Side Up.
No, Sunny Side Up.
Titty City.
Mitch, the auto draft. He's not liking that right now.
Let's talk about this week. I'm off to a fantastic start right now, playing El Camino.
The 0-3 team, right?
So last night I had Kirk Cousins, Diggs, and Robert Woods for a whopping 86.30 points already. El Camino has 2 points from Delvin Cook.
He's just trying to get a win, Dad, and you're over here just saying no.
He's off to a rough. He's not getting a win this week. I'm going 2-2. He's going to be 0-4 after this week, unless he makes a huge comeback.
Yeah.
So he's off to a bad start with just 2 points.
I'm going against Gronk Smash, going against Allen this week. He's 1-2. I'm 2-1. But of course, I gotta go against Cooper Kupp this week. Out of all weeks, I go against Cooper Kupp on his career day. So the projections have it closer, but I'm not worried.
I don't think I've ever seen this before. Jabroni Peppers is going up against Sunny Side Up. Sunny Side Up has a start already of -3. I've never seen that.
Bryce
before.
is not.
It's got Minnesota's defense gave him -3. So
Bryce is not getting a win. Bryce is not getting a win, dude.
No, Jabroni Peppers has 0 points, and he's winning. He's got 0 points, and he's winning right now.
Yeah. Wow. That's how you. I mean, Bryce, your team's awful. I'm sorry. I'm saying it. My dude traded for Josh Gordon. This is the Pats fan, I think. It seems like he traded away Keenan Allen and friends for Josh Gordon and friends. So,
yeah.
I mean, I don't know. LaShawn McCoy, I got Odell Beckham from him. I'm happy about that. So, I'm hoping to get a win this week, but I'm down 37.4 dead from Cooper Kupp. That's insane. So
that's all right. Cooper Kupp had a great game. We're having fun with the subscriber league. We talk about it every week, so it's been good. There's been some action in there, so it's been good.
You guys aren't in the subscriber league, you're still listening right now. Subscribe if you're new. Do this 3 times a week. We talk about fantasy football and all that stuff. Then I go against my dad in our biggest league at home this week, and
you're going down. We got 5 bets this week. That's one of them. You're going down.
I wish you luck.
I'm taking you down. You're going to be 3-1. Guys.
There it is. All right. Yeah, thanks for listening. We'll see you guys on Tuesday with our waiver wire episode for week 4. Good luck for everyone week 4, unless you're going against me, or I guess my dad, same thing with you. So, we'll see you guys next time.
All right. Have a good weekend.